Hey, I'm Molly, 26, female, and I'm here to spill some serious tea about a wild chapter of my life. Picture this, it's like being caught up in a glamorous but totally crazy soap opera. Let me tell you, I've never been your typical beauty queen. I've always known I didn't fit society's beauty standards, but hey, who needs that when you've got stacks of cash? That's the deal with my bank account. It's got more money than I know what to do with. Little did I know, though, that money would become both a blessing and a curse in my life. Now, let's talk about my hubby, Mike. We had our fair share of ups and downs, just like any couple. But deep down, I had this nagging feeling that he wasn't fully satisfied with my looks. He'd drop hints about plastic surgery, like he wanted me to change my appearance. Can you believe it? Like I had the money, so why not just go under the knife, right? But here's the thing, I didn't want to change myself just to fit someone else's idea of beauty. I knew I wasn't a bombshell, but I didn't let it bother me. Mike, on the other hand, had a thing for those drop-dead gorgeous ladies you see in magazines, you know, the ones who turn heads effortlessly with their flawless looks. Let's just say I didn't fit that bill. And then we have my mother-in-law, Betty. Oh, Betty, she was all about beauty. She used to be in beauty pageants back in the day and even qualified for the Miss America competitions. She's one of those people who puts looking good above almost anything else. When Mike and I got together, I could practically feel the waves of disapproval emanating from her. But hey, guess what? The moment she discovered the extent of my wealth, suddenly her tune changed. Money talks, my friends, and it seems Betty was all ears. Deep down, I had this gut feeling that something was off. I couldn't shake the suspicion that Mike and Betty had conspired to marry me solely for my money and the lavish lifestyle it provided. It was like this unspoken agreement, a twisted game we all played. Let me tell you, it hurt like hell. It stung to know that the love I longed for was nothing but a facade, a cruel trick. But I played along, pretending to be clueless, all because I craved love so desperately, even if it meant settling for something fake. As time went on, I found myself walking a tightrope, trying to balance my insecurities with the need to keep up this charade. It was like living in a fancy bubble, a fancy prison of my own making. Every smile, every gesture, every extravagant purchase was all part of the illusion that I was this lucky girl living a dream life with a husband and mother-in-law who adored me. But deep down, I knew the truth. They didn't adore me. They adored the money that came with me. I was just a pawn in their little game. And let me tell you, Betty took her obsession with beauty to a whole new level. She couldn't resist imposing her ideals on me. I mean, seriously, she bombarded me with info about plastic surgeons like it was a necessity. It's not like I was disfigured or anything. I know I said I wasn't the prettiest, but come on. Her constant messages and recommendations felt like a punch to my already fragile self-esteem. It was a constant reminder that I fell short of Betty's ridiculous beauty standards. I was so fed up, I couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed my phone and dialed Betty's number, my voice shaking with a mix of anger and hurt. I straight up told her to stop with those damn suggestions. I had no interest in changing my face just to fit her idea of beauty. It was time to speak my mind and defend myself, flaws and all. But let me tell you, Betty wasn't about to back down without a fight. She lashed back at me, spewing venomous words without a hint of remorse. She had the audacity to sneer and call me ugly. Hearing her say it so boldly was like a punch to the gut. I always knew she felt that way, but having it thrown in my face like that, it hit differently. It was like a mirror was held up, reflecting the true disdain she had for me, and that moment shattered something inside me. The pain ran deep, leaving behind bitterness and anger. After that day, I made a vow to myself I wouldn't let anyone belittle me or make me feel lesser because of my appearance. I stood tall, embracing every part of myself, flaws and all. The resentment I felt towards Betty started to take hold, and our relationship became more strained than ever. The days that followed were a roller coaster of emotions, anger, hurt. and a fierce determination to find my worth beyond superficial beauty and material possessions. But you know what? I stayed in that relationship. I know, it sounds crazy. I should have left right then and there without even giving her a chance to change or apologize. But the truth is, I was lonely, and I had gotten so used to pretending to be oblivious to everything, it was like we were all playing our parts, getting what we wanted in this messed up game. I got companionship, and Mike and Betty got whatever the hell they wanted. As time went on, the cracks in our marriage became more and more obvious. It was like Mike was slowly pulling away from me, both emotionally and physically. I couldn't shake off the feeling that he was plotting his escape plan, using my wealth as a stepping stone to secure his financial independence before leaving me high and dry. Even with these doubts eating away at me, I continued to support Mike's business endeavors, pouring my money into his ventures. Maybe deep down I hoped that my investments would strengthen our bond, that he would finally see my worth beyond all the material things. But as the second year of our marriage rolled around, I couldn't ignore the undeniable success he was achieving. One day we found ourselves at Betty's house, engrossed in a discussion about Mike's businesses. It was a tense atmosphere as Betty and I clashed, locked in a fiery debate over a crucial business decision. We each defended our own viewpoints passionately, and let me tell you, it got heated. The crux of our disagreement centered around a strategic move that could take Mike's businesses to new heights. Betty, always one to care about appearances and social status, was all about playing it safe and maintaining a polished image. Meanwhile, I saw an opportunity for a bold and innovative strategy that could shake things up in the market and propel his ventures forward. Betty let out a scoff, her tone dripping with condescension. "Molly, dear, you've always had such big ideas, but let's not forget that appearances matter. We can't risk tarnishing our reputation with unnecessary risks." Frustration welled up inside me as I responded, my voice growing stronger. "But Betty, the market demands innovation. If he plays it safe, he'll be left behind. He needs to seize this opportunity and carve a niche for himself." As the tension escalated, I could feel the weight of the moment hanging in the air. It wasn't just a simple disagreement over business strategies anymore. It had become a battle for power, a chance for Betty to assert her authority and remind me of my perceived flaws. But let me tell you, I wasn't about to back down. I had spent far too long feeling small and overlooked in this dynamic. This was my opportunity to prove my worth, to show that I had more to offer than just my financial support. With a fire in my eyes, I confidently presented my case, countering Betty's arguments with well-thought-out logic and fresh ideas. Each word that left my lips carried the weight of my determination. I refused to be silenced or dismissed. I had spent countless hours researching and analyzing the market trends, and I was confident in my ability to steer Mike's businesses towards success. I wasn't going to let Betty's narrow-minded perspective hold us back. As the debate raged on, I could sense the room growing quieter. It was as if everyone realized the significance of this moment, the clash of two strong-willed women fighting for what they believed was right. The air crackled with anticipation, waiting for the final verdict to be delivered. Mike piped up and interjected. "Look, I understand both your perspectives, but we need to find a middle ground. Molly, your ideas are intriguing, but we also have to consider the potential risks involved." His response left me feeling disappointed, like my concerns were being tossed aside without a second thought. "Mike, I've supported your ventures from the beginning, investing my time and resources, but it seems like you're more interested in playing it safe and securing your own future." Betty, seizing the opportunity to strike, chimed in with a derisive tone. "Oh, Molly, don't be so naive. We all know why you married my son. Your wealth was your only redeeming quality. Without it, you're just an unattractive burden, let's face it." "Mom, what?" "It's the truth." My eyes narrowed, anger bubbling within me. I refused to let her belittle me any longer. "Betty, enough. Your obsession with appearances blinds you to everything else. I won't let you define my worth. I may not be conventionally beautiful, but I have strength, intelligence, and a drive to succeed, and I won't allow you or anyone else to undermine that." She scoffed, and then she said, "You think you're better than us just because you have money?" "Nobody is saying that, Betty. You're just crazy. And you're just ugly." "Okay, Mom, stop, please." Stop trying to defend her. Weren't you the one telling me that you wished that things were different, that you married a different girl? What? Mom, I didn't say it like that. Come on. The jig is up, Mike. Don't worry. You can stop playing pretend now. Very soon we'll be swimming in our own wealth and we don't need this hag any longer. I was so confused and hurt it felt like my heart was about to explode in my chest. Mike, what is she talking about? Even though I was asking, part of me deep down already knew the answer. I just wasn't anticipating hearing the truth in this manner. "Oh, for the love of... Mike only married you for your money. Honestly, he settled for you, knowing that he could have done a whole lot better than this." She gestured to me when she said this. I guess in her eyes I'm so ugly that she had to refer to me as an object. "You think I'm lying? Mike, tell her." Mike didn't respond, but all he did was nod slowly and smirk, realizing that if his business continued on the same trajectory, he wouldn't need to sugarcoat things anymore. That smirk was sinister, truly revealing who he was this entire time. Betty's words hit me like a punch to the gut, hanging in the air like a poisonous cloud. She had the audacity to claim that Mike had only married me for my money, and it felt like a stab right in the heart. But you know what? I wasn't about to let her words bring me down. I summoned all my strength and spoke through gritted teeth, determined to stand my ground. "I'm not an idiot, Betty. I've known all along, but that doesn't excuse your cruelty. Why are you so mean?" Betty's laughter erupted, a cruel symphony of mockery. "Oh, this is rich. You mean to tell me that you knew this entire time?" "Yes." "Then why keep quiet? Why not divorce him or get an annulment?" "Because I thought that even though he only wanted me for my money, he'd at least give me companionship in return." Betty roared with laughter, cackling like a witch at my misfortune. "You're pathetic, absolutely pathetic. You have no self-worth, Molly. You thought you could buy my son? And what about you two, huh? You have all the self-worth in the world, right? You came into this knowing that you were using me, and you have the nerve to talk about self-worth. Looks like we're all insecure here. Don't try and get on your high horse." As much as I knew I was in the right, the laughter from both Mike and Betty started to chip away at my resolve. It felt like they were mocking me, and it was hard to keep my composure. Tears welled up in my eyes, ready to spill over, but I held them back with all my might. I gathered every ounce of strength within me to fight back. "How can you speak of self-worth when people like you have spent a lifetime labeling me as ugly? You think I don't know what it feels like to be constantly reminded of my supposed flaws? I may have desired companionship even if it was built on falsehoods, but now I see how foolish I was to think I could find it in the likes of you and Mike." The room fell silent. Tension thick in the air as the battle lines were drawn. I could see a hint of regret in Mike's eyes, an unspoken acknowledgement of his wrongdoing. Meanwhile, Betty remained stubbornly entrenched in her wickedness, refusing to admit how awful she had been. I was inching to get out of that dreadful place, eager to leave behind all the pain and misery. But of course, luck wasn't on my side. There was a raging storm outside, matching the turmoil in my heart. It was like some kind of cheesy movie scene, which I usually appreciate, but not when I had a point to prove, and storming out would have been perfect. I stood at the doorway of Betty's house, ready to make my escape. Betty, seemingly unfazed by everything that had happened, seemed quite content with my departure. However, Mike, torn between his guilt and sense of responsibility, begged me to stay for the night. "Please, Molly, the storm is too dangerous. Stay here until it passes. It's late and you shouldn't be out there alone." His words hit me hard, lightning a fire of anger inside me. I couldn't stand the idea of staying in the same place as those who had played with my emotions for far too long, using me for their own selfish purposes, even though I allowed it. Fueled by determination, I snapped back at him with a firm voice. "I don't need your pity, Mike. I'll sleep on the couch downstairs. Just let me be." Determined to take control of my life, I headed to the living room for some much-needed solitude. The house was eerily quiet, with only the sound of the wind howling outside. I sank into the couch, feeling the weight of the night's revelations bearing down on me. In the dimly lit room, I couldn't shake off the sense of betrayal that clouded my thoughts. Thoughts raced through my mind as I pondered my next move, desperate to break free from the tangled web of lies that had ensnared me for far too long. In those solitary moments, I found the courage to take action. Grabbing a pen and paper, I carefully crafted 2 notes. One for Betty, one for Mike. I poured my heart into every word, expressing the raw emotions that had consumed me throughout the night. With the notes completed, I silently placed them on the kitchen counter, symbolic of my liberation. With determination burning inside me, I tiptoed through the house, making sure not to disturb the sleeping occupants. The storm raged outside, mirroring the turmoil in my life. Ignoring the tempestuous weather, I stepped into the night, my heart heavy, but my spirit unwavering. Miraculously, I arrived home unscathed. The storm's fury was nothing compared to the emotional whirlwind I had endured. Exhaustion washed over me, my weary body craving rest from the roller coaster of emotions. Collapsing onto my bed, I surrendered to the blissful embrace of sleep, ready to face a new day and the challenges that lay ahead. When I woke up to the sun peeking through the curtains, I couldn't help but feel a rush of freedom. But then I checked my phone and saw a ridiculous number of missed calls, 87 to be exact, from Mike and Betty. Seriously, they must have been on a mission to break a Guinness World Record or something. I couldn't help but chuckle at their desperation. My revenge was in full swing, and they were starting to feel the burn. But it wasn't just about getting back at them emotionally. Oh no, my friends, I had a master plan. Let me spill the tea on those letters I sent them. In those carefully crafted words, I dropped a truth bomb that shattered their little game. You see, it wasn't just my heart they manipulated, but also my wealth and assets. And let me tell you, I'm no pushover when it comes to protecting what's rightfully mine. I let them in on a little secret. I owned all of Mike's businesses. Yeah, you heard that right. All those accomplishments he boasted about, they were made possible by my financial support. But guess what? I made sure to have everything legally in my name. I mean, who wouldn't want to be the boss, right? But that's not even the juiciest part. Oh, the post-nuptial agreement. It was my ace in the hole. Mike signed it without a clue, thinking he had me wrapped around his finger. Little did he know, hidden among the piles of paperwork he signed, that the agreement guaranteed my wealth and assets would be off limits in case of a divorce. Yep, even those businesses he thought were his ticket to success. Talk about a plot twist, right? They thought they could use me and toss me aside, but turns out I had the last laugh. Revenge truly is a dish best served with a side of financial security. Mike's inability to grasp the importance of reading the damn fine print and his blissful ignorance of the contract's existence was going to come back to bite him in the butt. Oh, the irony! It was like a delicious twist in this cheesy soap opera called my life. Their grand plan to use me for my money and then toss me aside had spectacularly backfired. Now I held all the cards and they were left scrambling with their half-baked schemes. Feeling a surge of boldness, I dialed Mike's number and waited for him to pick up. Surprisingly, he answered pretty darn quickly. "Oh my God, Mom, she's answered the phone. Now hurry. Molly, please tell me that this is all a joke." "Oh, Michael, you're just as naive as you were last year when you signed all those documents." "Molly, please, let's work something out. I'm begging you." "Nope. Since your mother believes that you can do so much better than me, I would like to give you the opportunity to do so. You should be expecting the divorce papers coming soon." "I won't sign them." "That's fine. I have friends who can make you sign them. They're the forceful type, you know, the ones who are so forceful that they can break fingers." "Those businesses are mine, Molly. At least give me that." "Nah, I don't think so. You made your bed, and now it's time you lay in it." "What makes you think I won't go to the authorities, huh?" "And say what? I signed these documents that I didn't bother reading, and now my wife won't give me any money? They'll laugh in your face." I heard Betty coming in on the phone now. I must have been on loudspeaker this whole time. To my complete and utter shock, this is what Betty said. "Molly, you know that what was said yesterday was all in the heat of the moment. I didn't mean any of it." "Cut the crap, Betty. You're the one who's pathetic. Goodbye, and see you in court." I hung up the phone, chuckling at the sight of their desperate calls lighting up my screen. Revenge, my friends, tasted sweet, and it wasn't just an emotional victory. I had hit them where it hurts the most. Their precious wallets.